for U.S. response to the chemical attack in Syria, which it says killed more than 1,400 people, including 426 children. For more, we are joined this morning by Michigan Congressman Bill Huizenga. He is live on the phone with us this morning. Congressman, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good to be with you, Allison.
I'm not sure if you could hear Senator McCain there basically lay out what he says is what Americans need to be assured of, no boots on the ground, but that action needs to be made. Could you hear that, sir?
Yes, yeah,
okay.
I did hear that.
Can I get your reaction to that?
Yeah, my question is, and the question that the constituents that I have here in Western Michigan is to what end? To support a president, I guess, who went off script and laid out this red line sort of mantra and without setting real policy. And that's the question I think that I have, the American people have, my constituents have, is to what end? What are we going to be doing this for? And if you're not talking regime change, we're not talking about any kind of significant crippling of the regime itself. And the best idea that I've heard is cratering the airport runways. But it seems to me we have to have support other than just us going in unilaterally.
The president had sort of drawn that red line, if you will, saying that if weapons were used, if chemical weapons were used, and these are banned chemical weapons, that some action would have to be taken at that point. If no action is taken, does that put the United States at seen as a limited power for the rest of the world? How much credence does that carry?
Yeah, I don't believe that the rest of the world believes that we are a limited power. It does say, though, that the president ought to be much more careful on how he chooses his words as he's making foreign policy on the fly.
Now, you've gone on the record in Michigan, in your home, basically saying that you're not in favor of the United States taking military action, and that if the Arab League can't commit to it, then why should the United States? Am I representing you in the correct way?
Yeah, I mean, that's roughly where I'm at. I do believe that we need to have world involvement. I commend the president. I was very critical after the Libya situation. I commend the president for coming to Congress. It was kind of late in the game, but we're there. We've got that involvement. But my concern, again, is after the rejection in Great Britain, France, obviously, Prime Minister Hollande is having a tremendous amount of pressure put on him to get approval of their legislature as well. We can't have the Arab League just punt this to the UN and say, hey, we really can't take care of it. They came together when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. They were able to put aside their sectarian and religious differences. And it seems to me that if there is that much concern within the Arab world about this as well, they need to be involved and engaged in it. Otherwise, I'm afraid that the perception in the Arab world is that this is just going to be another Western power trying to come in to an Arab country, and we have to avoid that.
The president, as we said at the top of the interview, is seeking congressional approval for any military strikes. It seems to me that then the burden of this heavy decision then would be shared by lawmakers and the president. This is a move that could have been made just with the president's approval, correct?
Well, that's what he claims under the War Powers Act, and sort of besides that, whether it's legal or not, the wisdom of coming to the Congress is necessary, I think, and I'm glad he did that. But again, there's a lot of questions that I think people have out there, and talking to constituents, and many of them from the Middle East who are coming and saying, hey, you need to understand how this is being perceived on Al Arabiya or Al Jazeera. And that's helpful, hearing that kind of input.
As Secretary Kerry and also Chuck Hagel make the case today on the Hill, as a lawmaker, what do you need to hear to sort of finalize your decision on this? Or is your mind made up as a congressman already?
No, I want to know what the plan is, and I want to know who else is going to be involved in this. You know, the White House had a conference call with the Democrats yesterday. I hope they would do that with the Republicans as well, and obviously the briefings that we need to get engaged in. You know, what I'm looking for, though, is what is the overall plan? What is the purpose? What is the end game here? And not that it has to be necessarily shared with the entire world, but they need to be doing that with those of us who are going to be granting approval or disapproval of this resolution. And I believe we need to have additional buy-in internationally. We just can't be the United States acting alone.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga of Michigan joining us by phone this morning. Thank you so much, sir.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, Allison.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too.